Welcome to Misfit One Lifestyles, where we talk to people about living fit, living their life focused, intentional, transforming. And look, my guest today is a comedian, a actor, a radio DJ on the Tom Joyner Show, and now a celebrity chef. Welcome to the show, Mr. Guy Torry.
What's happening? How you
How
doing,
you
E? I'm
doing?
good. I can't complain. All good in this quarantine.
Quarantine time, man.
Yeah,
Now is the time it has us doing so many things that we have not had time to do, right?
right.
So now we in quarantine. I see you doing some quarantine cooking every week.
And you know what? You got to survive. I'm a bachelor, so I always like dabbling and cooking a little bit, but I never had time because I'm on the road like 40 weekends a year. When
Right,
I'm in town, I'm only in town for 2 or 3 days, so you really
right,
don't want to get caught up in the cooking. But
right.
now that I got this time, I got all the time in the world to cook. And I was going to do a cookbook back in 2013,
Uh-huh,
and
uh-huh.
we called Comedy Kitchen. My comedian friends and their favorite recipes. And then it ended up kind of falling to the wayside a little bit. And then right before the whole shutdown happened, I was like, you know what? I'm going to pitch this as a show and just shoot the sizzle. And then I started going live with it. And it's been amazing.
Oh my gosh. So you telling me we're gonna have a Guy Corey cookbook after this?
It may be a whole bunch of Guy Torry
Oh,
cooking things after this. Things have been fun.
that is awesome. I know you cook at home, but you still feeding the homeless in the pandemic?
Yeah, the foundation I work with, my friend's house, man, on the front line because every Wednesday, the team will go out and on Skid Row
Wow.
and feed the homeless, clothe the homeless, pray with them. They have a center right downtown LA on 7th and Central in Los
Right.
Angeles. I'm sorry,
Uh-huh.
and it's a boutique where people donate their clothes and things like that, and we sell those things, and all that money goes right back into our foundation. And even during the pandemic and this quarantine, we still got soldiers on the front line downtown on Skid Row feeding the homeless. So it's always good. I mean, this is the time that they really need it as well. And
Right.
it's the fact that you have our doctors out there and our grocery store workers out there. We still got people out there volunteering
Wow.
to be of service with my friend's house foundation, which is downtown LA.
Wow. Hats off to you. And you got a lot of hats, so you know.
Hey, I ain't seen my barber in 2 months, so I've been wearing all them hats.
That's true. You wear hats as a comedian, the actor, the DJ, now a chef. Which hat do you
Yeah,
like the best? What role do you enjoy the most?
still stand up. Stand up is a girl that brought me to the dance. So I'm gonna be loyal to that woman of stand up comedy because that's
Right.
that's the hub. That's the thing that everything comes from. So the writing, the creating, the producing,
Right.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
acting, the cooking, all the stuff comes from comedy. That's the thing that started it all. So that's still I love that the most. I miss it right now. I don't miss the
Right.
humans sometimes. Like this quarantine ain't bothering me right now. But I
Right.
miss the laughs. I miss the laughs and I miss the money, but I'm good.
I love that you're keeping it real, because that's the
Oh,
truth.
100. 100.
I
I'm telling you, this whole quarantine thing, I'm gonna continue to quarantine after the quarantine. I
say
should have
it.
been doing this a long time ago. It's a lot of folk I thought I need to be around. And guess what? I don't need to be around no more folks.
No.
I'm telling you right now, I'm happy, I'm cool. I go outside, get a little sun, get my vitamin D, pause, in my
Right.
system, and then I'm back in the house. I'm cool.
Right.
Grocery store, that's it.
Right. I mean, that's great because you've been working, like you said. Wow. You've been in this
I work a
game
lot,
a
long
lot,
time.
and so you worked with the most iconic pop culture comedian on TV was the Martin Show, right?
Man, Martin, I mean,
How did?
I start. Go ahead,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I started as a PA in this business. I started as a production assistant. Those of you who don't know, that's someone who gets the coffee, run errands. You're basically the bottom of the totem pole. You're actually not in the bottom of the totem pole. You're actually the cement under the ground holding the totem pole up. All right? Let's keep it 100. So I started there, but I hustled. I was still doing stand-up at the time. I had just started stand-up doing when I came to LA.
Right.
So I did that at the same time. And then, I ended up writing an episode of Martin. I did audience warm-up for the Martin Show. I guest starred on the show. I was Martin's
Wow.
stand-in. So I
Right.
did everything basically on the show but direct. And Martin was always gracious in allowing his workers, his friends to kind of
Right.
like be a part of the whole operation. So I
Right.
loved it, man. It worked out pretty well because I made a lot of connections with that job, and I
Eh,
learned a lot.
wow. Well, what is one of the things that you took away from that show? I mean, because
Well,
that was a show we loved. Like, we
right.
loved that show. And you obviously did enough to catch the eye of somebody,
Well, what it was really, I mean, I learned, being from St. Louis, being new, fresh off the boat. I mean, I learned what a producer does, what a director does, how to act on a set. I learned the lingo of being on a set. I learned what a
Mhm.
production assistant is, what a line producer is. I
Right.
met executives over at HBO and over at
Wow.
Fox because those are the companies that produced it and aired it. I I I was cracking jokes on everybody. I'm a jokester. Everybody know that. So I was on
Right.
the set cracking jokes on the writers, on the cast, on my coworkers. So the writers started coming out of the room getting jokes from me to put in the script.
Love it.
And so
I
then my
love
jokes started making the script, and I'm still, delivering scripts. I'm like, hold up, what's going on here?
it.
So it was a Jewish young man who was a writer's assistant. He was working on an episode. He's like, "Guy, you think this is funny?" I'm like, "Man, that's corny, man. Say this." And then we said, "Let's just write an episode together." We wrote one together, submitted it, and it's one of the, from what I understand, that people say one of the funniest episodes of Martin ever. It was when they went on this vacation, got attacked by this rat. It was called Romantic Weekend, and Martin and Pam was beating up the rat, and Jeannie was beating up the rat. But that's the first script I ever wrote, and
No.
a lot just jumped off from there.
Oh my gosh. I remember that episode.
This ain't no damn puppy. He was beating the hell out of that little rat, that little rodent. We still don't know what it was. It was a little monster.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Oh Lord. Like, and that's all it took. But you worked with all of them on the Kings of
Kings of
Comedy,
Comedy.
right?
Yeah.
Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, Said Entertainment, Bernie Mac. I mean, how did this opportunity come? How did you?
Well, when I did the tour in '98. I was the first host of the Kings of Comedy tour. I was like maybe 5 years in the game. I wasn't
Okay.
really a king. I was really like a prince of comedy back then.
Yeah.
Because those guys are already selling out 5,000 seats by themselves. Those
Yeah.
guys were already 10, 15, 20 years in the game already.
All
So
right.
I was picked by Walter Latham, to host the show because you need camaraderie. You need someone
Right.
who's not going to make the show about them and who gets along with everyone. So at the time, I had the hottest night in the country, Fat Tuesdays, and that's where all the comedians came and it started
Yeah.
from. So
Yeah.
at the time I was on the Kings of Comedy tour, I was also shooting the movie Life. So me and Bernie Mac was together basically 7 days a week. So we go out on the road on the weekend and shoot the movie Life during the week. So I was around like geniuses for a whole year with
Wow.
Bernie Mac and Cedric and Steve and Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence and Anthony Anderson, Miguel Nunez. I mean, I was around these greats
Wow.
in acting and in comedy, which was really just iron sharpened iron. And I learned from all those guys.
That's crazy because yeah, you did life. I've heard that you call yourself tripolar.
Yeah,
What does
yeah.
that mean?
I have three personalities. I'm ADD, OCD, and God. So I got them all covered. I'm the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I always say it's me, myself, and Guy. That's
Amen.
that's that's me, myself, and Guy. That's who it is. It's this will tell her which one gonna come out. I just hopefully the God, the God one gets the victory in the end.
Right.
But
Amen.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I love that. I was laughing so hard when I saw that. I'm like, I definitely got to figure out what this tripolar is because I know a few bipolar people.
Yeah, I'm tripolar. I surpassed that. I
Yeah,
got a note, doctor's note and everything. Yeah, I'm way past bipolar. Yeah,
you.
yeah.
What's so funny is you actually talked about your Fat Comedy Tuesdays, man.
Uh-huh.
You were doing that. I mean, you created that, didn't you?
Yeah, you know what? It's a story that's being sold right now. We're pitching it right now to some studios. Got a lot of enthusiasm behind it. But it was a comedy night I created just to showcase black comedians. A lot of industry wasn't going to the places in the hood where we used to
Right.
perform. So I'm like, I brought the hood to Hollywood. I brought it to Sunset Boulevard and showcased a lot of comedians. And not only did it help me, it helped a lot of comedians either get discovered or make or have meetings
Right.
and learn the business. It's kind of like a networking type of thing. It was like the Negro net before the internet. I would say something
the
else.
NNW.
Yeah, I was going to say something else, but I don't want to
Come
discredit
on
the show.
now. Come on, come through. I'm listening. Let's look. What's so funny is though, wasn't it like Kevin Hart was brand new and
Well,
Nick Cannon and
yeah, those guys very early in their career, they came through Fat Tuesdays and learned a lot. Now, I won't take credit for making them stars at all, but
no,
it was definitely a spot, a destination spot where Hollywood came to scout black talent. It was a
wow,
spot where the patrons came to see our future black stars. It was a place
wow,
where, producers and writers and I mean anybody from Prince to Denzel to Quentin Tarantino to Quincy Jones to Montel Jordan to Charlie Pride to was in the audience to Richard Pryor,
Richard
Eddie
Pryor.
Murphy.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. I mean, all those was in the audience. And it was a time where LA needed that because
Mm,
it was divided because of the Rodney King riots, So I
mm,
started in 1995 and the city was starting to come back together, but
wow.
healing, laughter purifies the air.
Amen.
And we as black comedians needed that night, but also the city of Los Angeles needed that night, but also Hollywood needed that night because they were too afraid to come to the hood. So we brought the hood to Hollywood, and then they had a place to come scout black talent from Chris Tucker to Nick Cannon to Michael Blackson to Mike Epps to Cedric Entertainer to Bernie Mac. They all came through that night, and it was just a magical, magical night. Shaq used to always be at Fat
That
Tuesday.
is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And
From Snoop
so,
Dogg to Suge
oh,
Knight to Tupac to you name it, they were there. From icons to ex-cons, they was all in it.
make some kind of cons. All the cons was there.
All the
All
cons was
of
in
them.
there. Comic-Con, ex-con, icon. Man,
Oh, that is the truth. I heard that when you were out there to get started. Now, I know from other people is out on the streets, like you said it too, like you're a jokester, right?
yeah, yeah. Professional hiney hole, if you want to keep saying that.
Where'd you get that from? What?
I'm a bleach one. I'm a bleach hiney hole, but I'm still a hiney hole.
You're a high hole. And like, well, you said it, we didn't. That came right out of your mouth, right?
I'm honest. I'm transparent. I don't have
I
nothing to
love
hide.
that. How did that come about? Who was impactful for you?
You know what's funny? I always credit my stand up getting inspired by Def Comedy Jam, by my big brother Joe Torry, by Martin Lawrence, all the comedians in those first seasons of Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
That's what inspired me. And once I got into comedy and I started studying the craft, then I started studying Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby and Eddie Murphy and Robert Townsend and the Wayans, Keenan
Right, right, right.
and Damon and those guys. I mean, that I was those early years, man. Eddie Griffin. I mean, I can go on and started studying Whoopi
Yes.
Goldberg and Moms Mabley and George Carlin and all those guys. Once you start studying those, Red Fox and Dick Gregory, so because they were from St. Louis, so
Right.
I gravitated toward those two as well. So yeah, it's just those are my early inspirations and just wanting to make it, like being creative and channeling these three personalities and like we make some money off these damn dudes.
Yeah, or you could be in a hospital, locked up. But
Exactly,
I, I
exactly.
I like the way you went with that. I like that. I like that. And so you have such high energy, and you on
That's this
Misfit
coffee right
One.
here. That's this
Oh, is
coffee
that
I'm
it?
drinking right now. That's what it is. It's usually some Clase Azul 1942, but it's the
Oh,
middle of the day, So I'm trying to be nice because that's a whole nother conversation. And I haven't been on my Peloton yet, so I can't drink before I get on the Peloton.
oh my God. Oh my God. I love Peloton. I ride it every
Man,
day.
yeah, I should be riding every day. My cheeks getting a little rosy, a little puffy. Look like
No,
a
no,
squirrel right about now with some acorns in the mouth.
no,
But
no.
uh, but
Peloton
yeah,
is so you ride your Peloton. Who's your favorite instructor?
what's her name? She's a cutie too, man.
They all cute.
Well, the
Robin,
women, the women. No, it's Al. I think it's is it Alex?
Allie Love.
Allie. I think that's her.
Yeah,
Yes. A lot
yeah.
of times I would do the live, but a lot of times I catch it. I don't. I'll put it on scenic route,
Hmm.
right? And I'll catch up on my shows. Like it's a
That's a
lot of
good idea.
it's a lot of shows on television that I got to catch up on. There's a lot of shows out there, so I'll just put on a scenic route, Chicago or Italy or beach or whatever, and do the mountains or whatever,
Right,
and I'll
right.
have the TV on and I'll get caught up on Ozark or I watched Power that way
Oh my
last year
God.
or You or any of those series
Right,
to
right.
show you series you can get caught up on, and by the time you know it, you're done riding. You've been through,
Yep.
you've done an hour. So it's
Mm-hmm.
the best way to catch them on all your shows and kill two birds with one stone. Actually, three. You're getting your workout on, and you're getting your exercise on for real. You're losing some
Right.
pounds, and you catching them on your show.
I love that. I love that. I have not done the scenic route yet. I'm always on
You take the
demand doing.
classes.
I take the classes. I'm gonna have to do that though because I
Yeah,
heard that they are really great.
they are, and the Chicago one, and I'm from St. Louis. I ain't supposed to really like Chicago,
You're
but the
supposed to.
Chicago one is really, really nice. It's a really nice. I'm mad they didn't have a St. Louis scenic route, but I'm surprised in the Chicago one. I didn't see any murders on that scenic route.
What they riding in Chicago? I didn't see that. Like, where you riding?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I'm like, I ain't see no dead bodies
Mm-mm,
on
mm-mm.
Chicago
This
route.
fake. This fake right here. This not real. This not real Chicago.
But no, it's been fun. You know what I started doing too was the app on the phone. I started using the app to meditate, 10-minute
Yes.
meditations, but
Yes.
also the stretching, the 10-minute stretching before I get on the bike, and then the
Mm-hmm.
5-minute stretching after I get off the bike. And
See.
then you can use it for also, strength training,
Strength
yoga.
train. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
dope.
actually do. I love it too. I do I like that 5 minute meditation to go to sleep at night. Have you done one of those?
I haven't done that one. See, I
Man.
don't need anything to go to sleep. I just fall asleep. I go until my body says screw it, and I pass out. I don't
Well,
care if I'm
because it's
fully
like three
dressed or
of you
not.
guys.
It's three of us, so they all working. They all go to sleep at the same damn time. Some of them ain't. Sometimes they fight. Sometimes one don't want to stay up. Sometimes guy want to stay up, but me be like, man, I'm sleepy. But myself be like, man,
No.
one of y'all make up your mind. So they all in my head, just swirling around, every day.
I love it. I love it. But that's what it's about, though. If you get your sleep, you good. You are golden. How
Yeah,
do you
and I'm
typically
I'm
start
not
your
a fan of
morning?
sleep. I'm not a fan of sleep. Like I'm not. I sleep. My body will only let me sleep like 4 hours. I have to force myself to sleep more than 4 hours because I'm a creative. I think my mind just won't shut off. It just keeps going. I'll go to bed at like 1, and I'm up by 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or 5.
Right.
It's just that way. From 3.5 to 4.5 hours is all my body allows me to sleep.
Yeah. I used to be like that too. And then menopause hit. And then,
Menopause.
yeah,
You ain't
yeah.
old enough. You ain't old enough for menopause.
She boy, keep drinking, keep drinking that enough. But I'm telling you, my 4 hours started getting less and less, and then I really needed to sleep. That's when I started doing that app, and man,
Okay.
it kind of makes me calm down because I'm ADD. That's what I say. You know what I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying?
ADD, OCD, but I have a friend that she's a herb. She does herbs, and she gave me some valerian root, and that's supposed to help you sleep. It's natural, all natural herbs, and I haven't taken it yet because I'm scared I'm gonna oversleep. Mess around and miss something. What's going on? I'm like,
You
what
know,
I
you
miss?
got the fear of missing out, FOMO. And,
Exactly.
yeah. Mm-hmm,
What
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
miss? What I miss?
Oh,
Trump
sleep.
still in office? Trump still in
Oh, go
office?
back to sleep.
Damn, go back
Yeah.
right there.
That is the truth, though. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up now.
Valerian root.
I'm gonna look it up for real because that's the one thing that I have to really because obviously my body don't like sleep because 4 hours for me is boom, I'm good.
Good. All day. I go all day on 4 hours.
But as the older I get, the more I need it. But
But you
whatever.
know what though? But that's conflicting because I heard both sides. Because I also hear the older you get, the less sleep you need. And then
I
some people
know.
say the older you get, the more sleep you need. But you, as a fitness person, I guess your body does grow, and you give your body a chance to grow when you're sleeping. But
Right.
I mean, I
Recoup.
guess
It gives it time to recoup, right? Because I'm riding real hard in them streets in Chicago during the day.
just don't go to East St. Louis. You really ain't gonna make it back.
We're gonna have to do one Peloton and ask them to do
We should
St.
follow each other
Louis.
on Peloton then. Cause you can
Absolutely,
probably,
yeah.
yeah. But then you can see me cheating. Cause some days, like, it's been 4 days since you got on this
Yeah,
bike.
no,
I got
I'm gonna
friends.
hit you up. I'm gonna be like,
I got friends. I spent about
Chicago.
8 bikes. It only gave me one credit because here's the thing: when you go buy a bike, if you say, hey, so and so recommended me, they get $100, I get $100 credit to go toward an apparel store. So
No,
my sisters bought one, and they didn't ask that, so I missed out on $100. DJ D-Rec from Wild 'N Out, he bought one. That's why I got the $100 from because he gave my name. I have
right.
five. One of my best friends, he bought one. They didn't ask him. I missed on that $100. And a lot of people hit me up on Facebook like, yo, I bought a Peloton bike because I saw you posted on your bike. You got a Peloton. I've had mine for a year and a half.
Yes, I got mine, and for my birthday, June 5th. That was my birthday present last year.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I love it. I think that's like the best thing, especially now when people can't go to the gym,
Right.
can't do anything. It's like,
Right.
well, we have no excuse, you know?
Yeah, they shut the gym down in the condos I live in. They shut it down. So I'm like, I ain't tripping.
I don't care.
I got my Peloton.
I'm going to
good.
Chicago.
I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to Rio de Janeiro. Where you working out today? I'm working out in Montebello. I'm working out in today. I'm riding my bike. Yeah. And it's I've lost 10 pounds so far since the whole quarantine.
Wow.
Yeah, and I saw some old pictures of just January. And I
You was happy. You was smiling. You were just smiling, guy.
January 5th, my cheeks was like, Whoa. I'm like, yo. So I need to hit that bike. That's why I said I'm not drinking yet.
Oh, but we definitely gonna have to connect because I'm gonna be hitting you up like, oh, hey, I don't see you. You want to ride with me? You want to ride? Yeah, because it's fun, and I think that's one of the great things about it, especially now, is that it keeps us moving. It keeps united, right? Because we're not riding by ourselves.
Right.
And so I love the fact that you get on there. I think that is hilarious. Hey, go ahead.
I'm eating a little healthier now too, you know, because of this comedy kitchen, man. And I do Taco Tuesdays. I do it every Tuesday at 3:00 West Coast time, and then on Fridays I do Foodie Friday, and I just cook a meal. I invite a lot of chefs in, and they'll teach me how to cook a meal, or I invite a celebrity in, and they're gonna cook a meal. Like Rodney Perry was in. Cedric jumped into my live one time. Tiffany Haddish was watching at one point. And my man George Wallace, Cedric, Carl Payne jumped in one time. So a lot of chefs, a lot of this, and I want to continue to do it, man, and just build and build. But I'm learning, and the thing about it is, I'm eating healthier. All right, I'm not eating out. I haven't eaten outside my crib since the whole shutdown.
Right.
And I'm learning a lot of new things because these chefs are challenging me. Like I made waffles, right?
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I got my Bisquick. I got my syrup. They was like, no, you making that from scratch. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They said, no, you making the batter from scratch.
Flour.
Yeah. And you're gonna make the syrup. I made a caramel syrup from scratch.
Stop it.
I threw Aunt Jemima out the window. I opened my window, threw this little help out. I didn't need it. I kicked Miss Butterworth in the ass. I'm like, I don't need you either. So I made my own syrup, and I'm telling you, it came out bomb. And then I made the other day with Rodney Perry. He wanted to do his recipe of orange chicken and fried rice.
Okay.
So I said, okay. I got some orange sauce, and I asked, Chef Shantae, who I use her seasoning, Chef Shantae seasonings. I use her seasoning, great seasoning, got her own line. She's like, no, make your orange sauce from scratch. Like, what? She said, make it from scratch. So I made it from scratch. Instead of using orange, though, I used tangerines.
Come on now.
I tell you, it tastes better than the store. I'm telling you, because I bought the store-bought one and tested it. Then I tested the one that I made. Yo, I'm about to put all these recipes up on my YouTube page. I'm editing right now. They're going to be my YouTube page, Guy Torry YouTube page. But I'm telling you, they are challenging me to make everything from scratch. I made avocado toast for the first time yesterday. I made the guacamole from scratch and bomb. I'm loving it.
I love it. I mean, we definitely want to follow you, get in that kitchen. And wait, so what's coming up next for you, though? What's coming up?
You know what? It's funny. This documentary Fat Tuesdays we talked about earlier, that's my priority right now, is selling this to a studio, this franchise. It's not just a doc, it's a whole franchise. Okay. So that's out there. I'm supposed to be shooting a movie right now in Miami, but it got pushed because of the quarantine. A movie called I had a very huge role. I kind of took a break from acting for a minute. Now that I'm back, this would have been a great reintroduction to the acting world. It's called I Possess. It's actually a horror film. Yeah, it's actually a horror. So my drama game is way better than my comedy game.
Oh,
so as far as acting,
yes.
So so I was supposed to be doing that, but now just being a creative. Being a creative, and it's funny because the message in this whole quarantine business is John Singleton passed away a year ago, and I went to his memorial. And all these actors are getting up, Regina King and Tyrese saying how what John Singleton saw in them as actors, right? And I met John when I first got out here in '92, and then I wasn't acting yet. And then I started acting. I'm gonna be in a John Singleton film one day. And
Wow.
I was sitting there, and I never got to work with John Singleton. So I was sitting there listening to all these actors saying that he saw what he saw in them, and I'm like, man, he didn't see me as an actor. And I was a little bit hurt and disappointed.
Right.
But I remember back then he wanted me to create a TV show for him because I wrote an episode of Martin, and he knew that. And he's like, man, create a TV show. And I thought he was just joking. About 2 months later, he said, "God, where's my TV show?" I'm like, "You were serious?" So I went back,
Uh-huh.
created a show for him. He loved it. It got pitched around. And then and I realized at that moment, John didn't see me as an actor. He saw me as a creator.
There you go.
He saw in me what I didn't see in me. So, and what I have most fun doing is creating. And this time
Hmm.
right now, where we're on this lockdown, you know, hey, I'm being creative.
I
So I'm
love it.
very excited about that.
Yes, we are too. I cannot wait. We're gonna follow you. Where can we follow you at? Where we can stay connected?
My Instagram, at Guy Torry, Guytorry. Same thing on
Okay.
Twitter. My YouTube page, I gutted it, and I'm putting more. Just going to load newer stuff on there. My website is guytorrylive.com. It'll take you. If you go there, it'll take you to all my
All
social
of them.
media
Okay.
stuff right now. It's under construction right now, but it's up and it's running. And on Facebook, the Guy Torry Show.
All right. Well, I'm gonna definitely connect with you on all of them. I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram so we can get connected on one Peloton. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming. You
Thanks
are
for having me.
awesome.
Thanks
You
for
are
having me.
awesome, man. This was
And don't
great.
snitch on me when I'm not riding my bike.
Yeah,
No be snitching.
I'm just gonna. You already know.
All right.
You see this face?
Don't be snitching. Guy
But
ain't
that's
on his
how it's
bike.
gonna look like. Get on the bike.
Shit. Guy
You
ain't on his
guys
bike.
heard it here. I got permission to get on his tail. Guys, thank you so much. You are
Thank you.
amazing. Mwah. Peace. You're the best. Guy is off the chain. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's your girl, Elizabeth Colen, with my guest, Guy. Go to my website, learn more about him, find out who's coming up, who's my new guest. But you can always find all that information on my website is misfit1.com. Until next week, stay fit.